Hello everyone, this is TheSC here, back with some more Starcraft 2 action. This time is a continuation of that impromptu best of 7 between Whitera spawning down in the bottom left side. He is currently struggling a lot versus TLO. He is down 3-0 versus, well, like I said, TLO up here in the top right side. TLO playing outstanding. Whitera, though, still one of my favorite Protoss ever. Even if he's not one of the top Protoss out there, I do not care, because he is one of the top Protoss out there in my heart. So I absolutely love him, no matter how poorly he plays. But we shall see in this game if he can pull it back, or if TLO is just going to crush him 4-0. Either way, I'm excited to bring this series to you. Whitera, once again, did send it to me, and he is such a manner, guys. So make sure to check out both Whitera and TLO on Facebook, Twitter, anywhere else you can find them, man. Just check them out, support them. They are awesome. And they are just normal people like you and I. So while this is getting underway, I usually have something else to say right here, but I don't this time. So I guess thank you for all the thumbs up, all that goodness, and that's gonna be it. At the time of recording this, I am getting ready to watch Game of Thrones, which that is an awesome series. If you guys haven't seen that, it's great. If you haven't read the books, you are going to be so confused as to what's going on, but just pay attention. And eventually you'll kind of catch wind of what's going on. I was really confused for a long time, actually, what was going on in that show. Then I finally kind of got it. It does follow a ton of people in that series. And let's see, it does look like Whitera is going to move up here, scout out the spawning pool, and say, hello, what you got going on in here? So he will be able to spot that. He does now know, can he go for the Nexus first? Does he need to throw down a cannon? I think he's going to throw down the Nexus first, although TLO could actually try and block this hatchery. That would be so annoying. So annoying. He could actually drop a hatchery, cancel it, and then drop a Evo chamber. I don't think he's going to do that, though. He definitely can't do it now because there's so many probes down here. 2 probes to be exact, but not often do you see a Protoss's expansion get delayed. That time he did see it get delayed by about 100 resources here. And is he going to drop down a cannon? Well, 4 Zerglings, 6 Zerglings are on the way. What does Whitera actually do here? Can these Zerglings make it all the way across the map? It is a race against the clock. Is he going to be saved by the cannon, or are the Zerglings going to make it all the way inside the main base? You need to make sure to drop a gateway here. Yep, he goes ahead and does that. And it does look like this cannon should be done by the time the Zerglings get there. It's going to be so close, though. This is why you have to plan this out perfectly. And the cannon is barely done. Whitera drops a second gateway there just to make sure. Even the Overlord getting shot there by that cannon. The poor little probe does indeed fall. And I love this. Immediately going for these rocks. There's nothing that Whitera can do about that. I mean, literally nothing. I think he's going to cancel this gateway right before it finishes. That would be the logical thing to do. It will cost him a little bit of resources. You can see he's lost a little bit there already, but if he does cancel this will lose him a little bit, and he'll just drop the Cybernetics core right there. Should cancel it. Is he going to cancel it? I think he's waiting for a little bit of money. He does, and Cybernetics core, where are you? And that did seem... Wait, he still hasn't dropped it. What are you doing here, Whitera? I guess he's not going to be going for it super early. Instead, relying on getting out a lot of probes, and yep, does drop the Cyber core there. The reason he didn't drop the Cybernetics core up here is because that would completely wall in his base, and that is not something you want to do. I love killing rocks with these early lings. I think that is so smart. I wish more Zerg players would do that. And the reason he's killing these ones off is simply because, you know, the more open that these chokes are, the better it is for Zerg counterattacks, the better it is for Zerg getting surrounds. And because Zerg, I mean, they want wide open areas. They want to be able to engage you in that kind of location, whereas Protoss wants to engage you in choke points because you get Psystorm, you get Colossus, you can help protect your Immortals. It's just all around better. So trying to clean off these rocks, well, this is going to help him a little bit. Is it going to be a game changer? I mean, it's kind of hard to say, but it definitely makes you feel better as a Zerg, knowing that those rocks are not there. It does make fighting up that ramp much easier as well. You can spread out your units so you don't take as much splash damage. The Zealot coming on down here, he's like, hey, buddies, leave my rocks alone. He is going to get surrounded, though. Nope, he's not. With a little bit of micro there, he will be able to kill off 1 Ling. This is the battle veteran Zealot over here with 3 kills. Up at TLO's base, we do see an expansion going down. This expansion is not ridiculously early, but it is still relatively early. I mean, he's not mining any gas at all. You can see 0 gas right now. Just now, got to be throwing down that gas, guys. They're getting one at the expansion as well, so 2 on the way for there. He could add on a third if he wants to. It kind of depends what he plans to follow this up with. If he's going to follow it up with Mass Roach, then he doesn't need as much gas. He could really just kind of sit back on the 2 gas for now. But if he does decide to go for higher tech stuff, if he wants to go for mutas, things like that, then he will add on those additional gas. Kind of curious to see exactly what he does on the back of this. Right now we do see a Zealot Stalker in the center of the map. This is enough. Oh, yeah, that hotkey group. You are not part of this army, Rocks, unless you're Dustin Browder, then your entire army is made of Rocks. But you can move out with the Stalker Zealot, force a couple of units here, try and snipe an Overlord. Not sure if that's actually going to happen, but it does force TLO to try and play more defensively. This Zealot should get taken out, but the positioning is not that bad. You can kind of see him in there, wedged in there just barely. He will get a couple of kills before he gets taken out. The Stalker's saying, well, I'm really fast, so I'm just going to go ahead and retreat out of here. I don't think Whitera is going to be able to kill off that Overlord, but you can kill Lings quite easily with this. It just takes quite a bit of micro because Lings are pretty darn fast. They do share that same movement speed. He is going to go for the Overlord. I don't think he's going to get it, though. That's so tempting to try and do that. Although TLO making a ridiculous amount of Zerglings, that is a surprising amount of Lings. It may come in handy as this third base is completely exposed. Although with a nice wall in here, this is actually a great wall in, because if you look at this, when the Zerglings run into here, they actually have to run all the way around the Nexus to kill off the cannon. He does decide to add on a second cannon because he realizes just how many Zerglings are coming over here. And TLO, man, if there's one thing he kills in this game, he has got to make sure it is those Rocks. Does manage to kill those off at the cost of 1 Ling. Can he surround the Stalkers? No. Decides to go to third. No. Decides to turn back around. And Whitera almost loses them again. Not going to allow that to happen. He is in range of that cannon. So even though he did lose a Stalker there, he was able to hang on to the majority of that army and also kill off a couple of Lings as well. Taking a look at the units lost, it is favoring TLO right now. Not a great deal, although killing another Zealot would be nice. TLO's trying to decide, do I want to go for it? Nope, he does back out. Whitera is going to push this away. If you're wondering why TLO made so many Lings, well, he's going to be droning on the back of it. Taking a look at the unit tab, it is 59 drones to 51 probes, which isn't that great for TLO overall, as Whitera somehow managing to secure an early third base, which can be very difficult versus Zerg at this stage of the game on this map because there's so many counterattack routes. But I love how he's putting on a little bit of pressure here. He's baiting TLO. He's saying, go ahead, make some more Zerglings, make my day. Although Whitera does get completely surrounded, and then, oh, TLO messed that up because he's trying to kill off that Stalker there. And why is he still chasing that Stalker? Okay, that was just poor micromanagement there, as TLO needs every Zergling he can get because he's trying to tech up to Mutalisks, which means he needs to hold this with just a couple of Zerglings. But so far the Zealots got to be moving in here, maybe able to take out a Queen. No, decides to go for the Spine Crawler. The Queen is very low on HP as well, so right now it should be evening up a little bit. Yes, it is indeed pulling Whitera back into this game. He's doing substantial damage here. He will end up losing the Zealots, but an important note is that Whitera's looking at this army and he's going, okay, there's no Zergling speed yet, which means there's probably a Spire on the way, because you get that Spire very quickly if you don't spend it on Zergling speed. I'm wondering if the Zergling speed was a mistake, though, because he's hovering 900 gas here. And I'm really wondering if he meant to do that or not, and I don't know, it's kind of hard to tell here. Sometimes Zerg players will forget Zergling speed, and that's an upgrade that usually you almost always see in the early game. And I was thinking maybe he could use it for more Mutalisks, but at the same time, he, still got the Zergling speed, so it's not like that money is going directly into some Mutalisks. Now, we do see Zerglings now once again surrounded here, and also an Immortal on the way. I think that TLO actually saw that there was a Warp Prism here, which one thing that always impresses me about Whitera is his ability to use Warp Prisms versus Mutalisk play. Of all things to make a Warp Prism against, you would never ever think it would be a Mutalisk, although he is powering out a bunch of Immortals here. I think he doesn't realize exactly what's going on here, which is pure Muta, because the two things that Whitera has right now, as far as tech goes, is Warp Prism and Immortals. Not very good versus this amount of Mutalisks, but 16 Mutas on the way. That is absolutely insane. What is Whitera going to warp in here? Is it going to be a bunch of sentries? For his sake, I hope not, because he is going to need a bunch of Stalkers. He does go ahead and go for the Zealots here. I'm not really sure what the purpose of the Immortals are. I think he saw a couple of Roaches and is way overreacting here. But I guess once you have double Robo, what are you really supposed to do? But honestly, these Immortals not going to do that much versus the unit composition that we're seeing on the field. We do see +1 attack on those Mutas nearly completed right when those Mutalisks are going to be spawning and out in the center of the map. They are going to call out that Warp Prism, and all of a sudden Whitera's like, uh-oh, there's no Roaches here. This is pure Muta. And on the field, we do have 17 Mutalisks Need to cancel that pylon. It is not going to happen. Muta's decided to kill that off, but that is going to delay the Muta harassment by just a little bit. Now, Blink is done, so Whitera can help hold this off a little bit, and it does look like TLO decides to go straight for the cannon, so this is Whitera's strongest point, so if he loses this right here, I mean, how defenseless is he going to be? It's going to be pretty crazy, although TLO surprisingly engaging the Stalkers directly, so this is going to favor Whitera here, as he does have +1 attack and the 1 armor, so he can go toe-to-toe with those +1 upgraded Mutalisks, because those glaives bouncing around are not going to do as much damage as you might think. You got to go ahead and spread a lot of creep here. This is something a lot of Zerg players should do. The more creep spread you can get, of course, the better it is for your roaches and Zerglings. And this is such a large map that the more creep you can spread, the better. Although, honestly, TLO's creep spread this game is quite abysmal. I think that's why he's having to use these Overlords. Because, look, I think he's only made a couple of creep tumors. It's like one right here, I think, is the only one. And I have seen some Zerg players on this map focus on the creep spread very heavily. Instead, TLO is going for Zergling Muta, which does not benefit from the creep spread nearly as much. What they do benefit from is killing off a lot of probes, and they were able to transfer that away. This is an annoying point for Protoss players, kind of in the mid-game when you're trying to deal with this many Mutalisks. I mean, really, what do you do? I think going for Archons is good. Blink Stalkers can help defend quite easily, but you're going to need Storm or Archon or something like that, although this is a lot of Blink Stalkers here. And they are going to have 2-2 in a couple of moments. The Zerg player will have even upgrades as well, but I would say Blink Stalkers do scale a little bit better versus Zerg than, you know, if you're at equal upgrades, but Blink Stalkers can still be very cost effective. But this is going to be tough. Need Guardian Shield right there. Utilize. Sentries are actually surprisingly good versus Mutas. Never quite figured out the math on why they are actually so good here. But can Whitera actually hold on? It is 155 supply to 136. He does manage to kill off the Lings because TLO engaged right by this cannon. This cannon is up to 9 kills, a heart of blood right there of dead Zerglings. And he was able to keep the very important Mutalisks alive, though, which means he can secure his 5th base relatively safely. He is going to need something to deal with the amount of Blink Stalkers he has, though, so he needs to get out Hydras. He needs to get out some Infestors. He needs to do something other than just pure Muta. And actually, the timing of Whitera, he may actually be able to take this game. The reason I say that is TLO just made 13 drones instead of making Hydras, instead of making Infestors. He's relying on pure Mutalisks, and he's going to lose 2 here. The micro of TLO not looking to be top-notch in this game so far. He's made a couple of mistakes. Whitera's really going to start punishing him here for that by moving forward with these Stalkers. The 2-2 going to be kicking in right about now. That armor upgrade is very important. I mean, both upgrades are important, but the more armor you have, the less bounce damage the Mutalisks do. Those 13 drones that TLO just made, well, he's going to lose a lot of them right here, as they are now forced to transfer away, and TLO needs something other than pure Mutas, but unfortunately, he just does not have it. Starting the Pathogen Glands now. I think it may be too little, too late. Pure Blink Stalkers is great versus Zerg, who goes for pure Muta and stays on that for a little bit too long. Not so good versus Roach Hydra, but right now, this is not looking good for TLO. He is going to attack here, but the angle is going to be atrocious. I don't think these Mutalisks are going to be able to do the damage they need to. Taking a look at the units tab here, just watch that number. It is currently plummeting, 23, 22, going down very quickly. I think TLO may be able... Nope, he's not going to hold this at all. There's the GG. He realizes right away that he ended up losing that game. And, yeah, 13,000 to 9,000 resources lost. But it's one of those situations where TLO knows exactly what went wrong. Whitera found the perfect time to attack. The 2 things that TLO really did majorly wrong is he never got any Infestors for fungal growths. And, what was the other one? Oh, he made that big wave of 13 drones right before the attack came. So, perfect timing there by Whitera. That's the kind of game sense you need to have in these games. The Immortals ending up doing very well here. 19 kills, 13 kills, 7, and 10. And this guy looks pretty sweet here. Blasting away. If you wonder what it looks like right when they shoot, I guess that kind of shows it. And so anyways, that means we have a series, folks. It is 3 wins for TLO. 1 win for Whitera. He's got a lot of games he has to make up for if he wants to stay in this. I guess it's just more of a show match, but I never understood, like, why are they floating around in water or something? It's pretty crazy to me, but regardless, we shall find out what happens in the next game. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys next time.